Hi, my name's Troy, and I'm a native Texan. I grew up in Houston and spent most of my life in Texas until college. I went to the University of Texas here in Austin. And then after that, I had the opportunity to travel and live all over the world. I lived over in Europe for a while. I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Guatemala. I was a banker in Singapore. And then I moved back to Texas a number of years ago and just been working here in Texas. I first started adventuring in the outdoors when I was a little kid, basically. My dad was really good about taking us camping, our family camping. We'd also go fishing quite a bit, both on the coast in the Gulf of Mexico, as well as in some lakes like Livingston, Lake Conroe. And yeah, just always, we always were just out adventuring, never afraid to get dirty, play in the dirt, and so that's probably my earliest memories of being outdoors. I guess some of the ways that nature has helped my mental health, I think I'm pretty stable mentally just in general, but more just like mental framework. And I think whenever I go out in nature, I tend to, well, let me put it this way. So in our daily existence, we usually wake up, we have breakfast, we go to work, we have lunch, we work some more, we might go out to dinner with friends or family, and it's very much a routine. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I've always found that going out in nature, I just experience things and I see things for the first time. And because every time there's something new. And it could be a trail that I've hiked on for the first time. It could be a trail that I've hiked on many times, but you know, there might be, you know, just different colors because of the season, or I might see a different type of animal, or even an insect, or anything like that. Sometimes just finding a plant that I've never seen before, and then learning about that plant or observing something about that plant, just it makes it interesting. And just every experience that I have outdoor, every time it's something new, and for me it's exciting. Wow, so for somebody just venturing into the outdoors, I think the most important thing is just go with what you got. Just put on whatever shoes you have, whatever clothing you have, you know, take a little bottle of water and some snacks and just go out and just look around and see what you can see. And start off gradual on a very easy hike. It could be something that might be a mile or so. I think most people can walk a mile, but whatever distance you feel comfortable at, just start with what you got, what's nearby, and then as you gain more of appreciation and as you gain more understanding, you can always do more challenging things. It's the same with if you're going to go paddling or fishing or bicycling or anything. Just go with what you got, and if you don't have much, you know, there's so much availability to just, there's so much gear out there, so many things that you can just borrow from people sometimes. I think also it helps if you have like an adventure buddy. So if you do have somebody that you know that is kind of outdoorsy, just ask them, hey, would you mind if I tag along with you? Or, hey, I'm thinking about going to do this activity, would you mind coming along? And it always makes it more fun when you can do it with other people. The person that has had the biggest impact on just my outdoor journey is probably like my father, because at an early age he took me and my siblings out and just he just instilled in us like no fear of the outdoors, no fear of, you know, the plants, the animals, the weather. You know, as long as you're somewhat prepared, like humans have been living outdoors for centuries, and so some people have fear of the outdoors. I think that prevents them from going out, but I think my father just very early on just instilled in me just like you know, the desire, I guess, to go outdoors, as well as the confidence. I don't really think of myself as having too many goals for outdoor adventures. I think I've done quite a bit, but one of the things that I've kind of learned is it's really about the journey for me. Like, I've never really been interested in just reaching one destination or just doing one activity, but it's kind of the journey. And so, you know, like a number of years ago, like I just wanted to see Latin America, and so I just made a plan and I got a motorcycle and just traveled without any objective of hitting any, you know, places or things like that, doing certain things, but just the journey. And since then, I've kind of, like, a lot of my outdoor activities are like that. I just have an idea about something that might be kind of fun, and then kind of pursue a plan, but really only have like maybe 80% of it planned and leave 20% of it for whatever happens. But there's two things that I've always thought about doing, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to do them, but one would be to ride a Mongolian horse across Mongolia, and the other is to paddle the length of the Danube River in Europe. I think it's the second longest river in Europe, but something like 1,800 meters or something like that. But I recently picked up paddleboarding, and I thought about taking a trip just traveling along the Danube River. So I'd never have thought about, like, my outdoor activities as accomplishments, but I've been pretty fortunate to do a number of things. One of them was I hiked the John Muir Trail, like 210 miles, and at the end of it, I was able to summit Mount Whitney. That was pretty cool. Even prior to that, I had the opportunity to travel to Africa and summit Mount Kilimanjaro, so that's always was something that was kind of cool. But honestly, like, you know, I don't know, like, climbing mountains is not really my thing. It's more just the experiences and the things and the people that I meet along the way that I kind of enjoy. Perhaps, like, the thing I'm, you know, most proud of is maybe just, like, yeah, just independently traveling and meeting people along the way and just gathering those stories. In terms of a happy place for me, you know, it could happen anytime, any place, anywhere, but I think it would probably involve like dusk. It's that period of time when the sun has set, but there's still that glow. And then it would probably also involve, like, being on water, perhaps, just floating on water. I've had, like, a number of those experiences, and those just seem to make me really happy, just really calm, a lot of peace in my heart. So I guess that would be my happy place. I guess, like, a final thought, I don't know if it's necessarily advice, but it's just something that I try to follow, is that, you know, nowadays there's just so much, like, outdoor gear, outdoor apparel, outdoor equipment, and I'm very susceptible to acquiring gear and things like that and putting it to use. But one thing I've really learned is that, you know, whether it's when I'm new to hiking or new to paddling or new to fishing, you know, the gear and the equipment, it's very easy to obtain. But as I get more experience, I found that I need less and less of it. And so if you're starting your outdoor journey and you don't have a lot of resources, you don't have, like, a lot of gear, maybe try to find somebody that has some knowledge. And just having knowledge of the outdoors is so much more meaningful, I think, as well as more important to your enjoyment than having the appropriate apparel or gear or things like that. And then, it's also just about getting outdoors. And, there's a lot of people that have influenced me in a positive way, inviting me on trips or challenging me to take certain trips. And that's always a good thing. But I think ultimately I've learned that my own adventures in the outdoors, they're always most meaningful when they come from my own heart, from my own interest, my own curiosity. And so always pursue those things that are of interest to you. Don't let your journey be shaped by somebody else's Instagram. Find your own way, your own journey.